Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network for the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series Concord 125, coming at you at a newly repaved Concord Speedway here. Joining me in the booth tonight is William White and our always awesome producer, Dave Huckleberry. Taking a look here at our track map, you can see the temperature. No rain in the forecast tonight, just a little bit of wind. Qualifying is just wrapping up. What are you expecting to see tonight, William, out here on the racetrack?
Well, 0.42 miles, high banks, just three corners on Concord Speedway. With a field of north of 30 trucks, I'm expecting a lot of carnage and a big race of attrition. So I think a survivalist mentality is going to be the key to success tonight as we have a look at our championship standings after round 5 at Sebring last time out.
Yeah, it looks like Jesse's out there with the point lead. Chase Cobre, Gerald Campbell, our producer buddy, or excuse me, broadcast buddy up here. Dustin Dewar, Andrew Rucker. It's really tight up there at the very top, but Chase has really came along here lately in all the Elite Series. He seems to be the guy to beat every week, week in, week out. How much have you raced with Chase, and what do you see him doing that other guys aren't, William?
I've not had the honor of racing with Chase Cabry all that much. I think I raced him in the Grand National Series at Zandvoort once. That's the only time I've raced with him, and he was lightning quick. He was way up at the front. I think I could have matched him on pace if my internet had held on, but that's neither here nor there. Obviously, Chase Cabry, it's his first season in Elite. He's leading the rookie standings here in the Truck Series. He's doing incredibly well, just 8 points off of the regular points lead. But you'd expect nothing different from the two-time NASCAR K&N Series winner. Obviously, incredibly experienced in the real world, and he's showing it on the sim today as he is on pole. Sorry to steal your thunder there a little bit, Chris, but yeah, there's your starting grid for the Concord 125.
Yeah, you mentioned he's on pole, and I think the most important laps of this race have already been ran. It was the qualifying laps based on what we saw in practice. We think the pace car out there is gonna have quite the night out here. Hopefully, he's got enough fuel for the race. But like you mentioned, Chase is on the pole. Vincent right there in second. Jeff Green in third. Chad Frankenfield fourth. Dylan Javier there in fifth. Joe Francis, Gerald Campbell, Michael Hosick, Thomas Coonan, and Jesse Rasmus round out the top 10.
Yeah, Raymond Hanneman and Neil Rupp III in his first race will start in P11 and P12. Michael Goodman, owner of Do Good Motorsports, will start in 13th, and Sam Boutwell for Wally Racing will start 14th. Andrew Rucker in the 64 will start 15th, with our favourite Canadian, Robert Hill Jr., in 16th. Connor Thompson and Cody McCorkle will round out row number 9. Seth Rawls in the 10, and Frank Foti in the number 41 will round out your top 20.
Yeah, and running out the field, we got David Carpenter, Andrew Hardcastle, Caleb Pachumer, Dustin Dewar, Mike Pachumer. Man, I was close, almost there. Caleb Pachumer, Dustin Dewar, Michael Javier, Mark Revelos, and Leighton Norgard, along with Robert Smith, will round out the 28 car field. Not sure if Ethan is racing tonight. Joshua Freed is out there, did not make a time. Ethan's not out there yet. Don't know if he's racing. Jaden Racimus also out here, going to start at the back. Brandon Hilton, Kyle Henshaw round out the field. It looks like we have about 31 or 32 cars out here tonight, as the field will begin to roll here shortly.
Yeah, I believe we're going to have a 32 truck field taking the green flag here at Concord. I think Ethan Burrell is on the buttons up in race control, so he'll be dishing out the tallies for anyone behaving particularly naughty tonight at Concord. We'll have two pace laps behind Fred, our favourite safety vehicle driver. Chase Cabry and Vincent Isabella, your front rows. They'll have these two pace laps, and then we'll come to the green to start round number 6 of the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, the Concord 125. I'm excited. I don't know about you, Chris.
I'm a little bit anxious. I'm more anxious than excited. I think we're going to see a lot of wrecks tonight. I think we're going to see some craziness. I think a lot of these drivers, talking to them pre-race, are thinking about, do they even want to pit tonight? Do they just want to stay out the whole race? 125 laps will fly by with or without the caution, so I think we're going to see something crazy. We're going to see some guys trying to move forward. And we've got about one lap to green, so who do you have winning this race tonight?
I mean, I think you're absolutely right with the prediction for a lot of carnage and a lot of wrecks, and Chase Cabry took the pole by over a tenth of a second, which is no mean feat for a track as short as Concord. Obviously, the pole lap just 16.6 seconds. So I think as long as Chase Cabry can establish a decently firm lead out of turns 1 and 2, I think he'll be very hard to beat tonight with the carnage that we're predicting.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to pick Jeff Green, 2000 Busch Series champ, rolling off from P3. That's my guy tonight. Green flag is in the air. We are on the loud pedal and head for turn 1. Oh,
to beat the
contact on the
start of
front
our
row.
front two.
3 wide. It took a corner and a half for Chad to be 3 wide out here, boys.
The typical Chad wide manoeuvre, although I don't think he much forced the issue after some contact between your front row sitters, Chase Cabry and Vincent Isabella, but it's Cabry firmly in the lead. Frankenfield already up 2 positions, he's from 4th to 2nd at the end of lap number 1, and he will clear Vincent and Isabella out of turn number 2, so he'll fall back to 3rd. Jeff Green looking on his inside, and he'll get there. So Vincent Isabella not with an ideal start as the boys starting on the 2nd row. Chad Frankenfield and Jeff Green got off quite a good start, while Chase Cabry half a second out in front.
Yeah, and I think Vincent's going to be pretty upset to get hit there in the first corner. We'll have to see if that plays out later. Some of these guys back to the field, you're seeing everybody trying to get to the bottom. It's a very hard track to run. And I have personally not ran here since...
Oh, contact! Someone's in the last. Thomas Coonan.
Big wreck on the back
of 57
here as well.
And there'll be a caution. That's our first of the night, lap 4.
Robert Hill's wrecked here on the front stretch as well.
A big stack him up. I think that's Andrew Hardcastle facing backwards. Robert Hill, some extensive damage to the back of that car. I'll have a look at the instant replay there, see what happened. I think it starts further up the field there with the 57 and the 07, but I think there was a similar incident further back. We saw Roberts get a little bit loose, hits Boutwell, hits Thompson as well. Big damage for the 95 truck. Carpenter involved. Norgard gets a big hit from Jaden Massimas. Doer's involved. Hardcastle gets spun. Norgard with a massive impact to the little attenuator there on the outside of turn 1. So already some big hitters taken out in some big hits early on in this race.
Yeah, and this track is so narrow, William. It's so hard to miss these wrecks if they start. And you see it right there. They stacked up and wrecked a bunch of trucks right there. I don't think that's the first big accident we're going to see tonight, or the last. Excuse me, that is the first, but not the last.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be the last, as these short tracks notable for these sort of stack-ups. As you say, very narrow racetrack. You don't have a lot of space to divert either side of a massive accident like that, as we see race control tallying the 95 of Robert Hill Jr. there. So that's his first tally issued by race control this evening. Robert's first of the night. And that's a lot of damaged trucks very early on in the Concord 125. Just 4 laps in, and we've had our first caution.
Yeah, and one thing about this place is the pace laps are small. So these guys that have all this damage, like Robert Hill, you're not going to be able to get that fixed without giving it multiple laps.
Oh, definitely.
See, Robert gets loose there. Same as the truck up there, about 10 or 12 trucks up.
Yeah, so these guys, obviously, it's incredibly hard to control. See Bakuma get involved there big as well. Very unfortunate for those guys behind him. We're just trying to keep their nose clean. And some of them ended up with their noses getting completely ripped off. We see bumpers flying off of these trucks and spewing around the racetrack. But Chase Cabry and Chad Frankenfield remaining your leaders for the time being.
Yeah, and they have one truck out in front of them. I'm not sure how Hardcastle is right in front of them. But
I believe
he should get waved
by. He will be waved by. I think he was just attending to some damage that was accrued by that number 22 truck. Chase Cabry obviously still scored the leader. Andrew Hardcastle, I believe, is a lap down maybe. So he, I imagine, will be waved by when they come to the 1 to green.
Well, it took him about a corner and a half to get 3 wide the first run. Well, Chad's only got 1 car in front of him now, so it's going to be really hard to be 3 wide. Trying to be aggressive and move forward. We'll have to see what Vincent thinks about that initial contact there on the very start of the race with Chase. Now he's going to be lined up behind him.
Yeah, that's another thing. The classic short tracks, will we see the bumper being used by some of these guys? We're coming into turn 3 to restart. It'll be lap number 10 when we come to the green.
Yeah, here they come out of turn number 3. Green is out. Once again, a great start there for the bottom. Chad drives in really aggressively there.
He's there. He's looking to make the move on Chase Cabry. He's going to hang around the outside of the 39 truck, but I think he might be forced to fall in line. The inside is just much stronger. He'll have the run off, but there's not a lot he can do with it, as Cabry does lead at the line. Frankenfield really throwing it deep into the corners, trying to hang on to the right rear of that number 39, but I fear that might be a losing battle for Chad for the time being, as he slots in line behind the number 39 car.
Yeah, he slots in line, but that does not mean the work is done. Chad is going to be really aggressive, going to be doing what he thinks he can do. Oh, a little bit of a Houdini there out of Chad. Thought he was going to get that fixed. Yeah, well, maybe travelling to the 5th dimension is a good way of getting past Chase Cabry. We'll have to see how
how successful that strategy is for Chad Frankenfield as he runs in second place. Very much keeping Chase Cabry honest, though, as we now ride on board with the number 15 kicking the tyres F-150. Right behind a fellow Ford F-150, obviously Chase Cabry, your race leader, muscling that thing in front as he's led every single lap so far, and we're over a tenth of the way through now. It's lap 14 in Concord.
Oh, and here we go. Chad with the look, a little nudge. Chase just gives him the spot there. I think Chase, he typically rides and saves his stuff. Caution is out.
That's caution number 2 of the night. It's the 88 car. It's around there in turn 2. We'll see what happened on the Marco Ballas replay there.
You see how bumpy this track is, and he just hit those bumps, got loose. He's going to start to spin. Oh, Dusty, look out, Dusty.
Nowhere for Dewar to go. Squeezed into the inside of turn 1 there. As Robert Smith facing the wrong direction, bringing out the second caution of the night.
Very unfortunate for Dusty. I do not anticipate we're going to see any caution or any pit stops right here outside of our wrecked race cars. So we will take this opportunity right here, the first time tonight of hopefully just a few times. We'll throw it to a commercial and pay some bills.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And welcome back to Concord, where we are working lap number 19. Field getting ready to go back to green here shortly. Doubling up here behind the pace car for the first time all race. Somebody else is going to be in control of this race. It's going to be Chad Frankenfield. We'll have to see what he can do here, taking off from the bottom side. See if Chase can try to get down in front of Jeff Green. Our front 4 have shuffled around a little bit, but it's still the same front 4 as they work their way through turn 3. Green is out. Big jump there for Chad. Maybe a little early. It looked like he did not wait until that first yellow line to go.
Yeah, so there's no painted Geico branded restart zone here at Concord Speedway, so it might be that as soon as the safety car pulls in, that Chad Frankenfield had control of the restart. Either way, it gave him a brilliant jump over the rest of the field, but they remain single file for the top 4. Your highest up, side-by-side battle is Gerald Campbell and Dylan Haver fighting for 5th and 6th. Gerald Campbell, past Cup Series champion on the inside there, but there is a caution, 3rd of the night immediately on the restart.
This one looks like it's going to be Michael Javier.
Just gets into the 46 there. Does Mitch Haven, spins him round. The Lake Norman driver managing to avoid everyone else. So just a single car incident there after the 58 spun off the left rear of Carl Hanshaw. That brings out your 3rd caution of the night here at Concord.
Yeah, 3 cautions in 22 laps. It's kind of on par with what we expected. I'm going to take this opportunity here to read some sponsor reads here. We have great sponsors in all of Elite. So I'm going to talk about the Stay Tuned Sports podcast, of course, the series presenting sponsor. They were started in 2016 by two friends, even through hating each other's, even though they hate each other, with the purpose of producing a sports show like no other. They wanted to create a show that would cover all major sports with a little bit of comedy mixed in. Stay Tuned Sports releases weekly episodes covering NFL, NHL, MLB, and even some college football. So if you're looking for some hot takes mixed in with some good ball busting, this is the show for you. Stay Tuned Sports, your home for sports nonsense. Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small businesses. Small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. And of course, you saw the commercial for Worldwide Technology Raceway. They are a motorsport facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri, and it features a 1.25-mile Cup Series, Craftsman Truck Series, and Open Wheel Series. It also has a 2-mile infield road course used by Trans Am, SCCA, and the Porsche Club of America, a quarter-mile NHRA drag strip to host a Midwest Nationals event in the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. And that race is coming up here pretty soon here in just the next couple months. They'll be back out at Gateway for the Cup Series, so sure tickets are available. Call them, check it out, go online, and get your ticket there to Gateway. Always a great race, and great for NASCAR to be back at that facility.
Yeah, obviously the last Enjoy Illinois 300 won by fan favourite Kyle Busch. He's very much a heel-turn face in NASCAR in recent years, so definitely good idea to cop some tickets for the 2024 race at Worldwide Technology Raceway. But right now we are at Concord Speedway. I believe the lights might be turning off on the iRacing.com safety car this time by. Yes, they are, so we will double up and we will go in green next time by to begin lap number 27 of the Concord 125.
Yeah, lap 20. We're already inside of 100 laps to go. These guys have more than enough fuel to make it. What are you doing, William? You pitting at all this race?
I'm not. Track position is so important, and with the amount of cautions we're having, I think I just want to be as far up the field as I can, which is why I was surprised to see Chase Cabry give up the lead so easily. I would have fought super hard for it, knowing that a caution was probably imminent within about half a dozen laps or so. But we'll see how many laps we can go this time. We're coming to the green now, and Chad Frankenfield again with another brilliant start there, clears Chase Cabry into turn one. They'll single file out through the front two spots, but it's Vincent Isabella and Jeff Green side by side for third.
Yes, side by side for third. That's where the battle begins. Vince trying to pass Jeff trying to hold him off. It looks like the outside's pretty good in most of these corners if they want to stick it up there. Vince gives that up, and he's going to get attacked now by Gerald Campbell there. Gerald trying to move his way up through there. We'll see how much of a fight Vince wants to put up here with Gerald. Ooh, Gerald a little bit loose out of turn number 3. Head down there for turn 1. Caution is out once again.
Yeah, it's your fourth and light. I think again.
Might be Andrew Rucker this time.
Andrew Rucker might be involved in that one. We'll have a look on the instant replay here. And he is. We already see him in the wall there. I have to wind that back a little bit. See where that starts.
Looks like he just gets loose.
Looks like he just drops it coming out of turn 2 there. Very unexpected. Looks like it was going fine, and then it just stepped out from underneath him. A big impact there into the inside wall. We saw him catch some air, so potentially some left steering damage.
Oh, then he spins again.
Again, spins it. Thankfully, just a single car crash there, but that does bring out caution number 4. Likely some heavy damage to the number 64 truck that will have to see to in the pit lane. So unfortunate there for Andrew Rucker.
Yeah, and your eyes do not deceive you out here. There are no safer barriers out here, so these trucks are getting quite a bit of damage every time they hit the wall.
I think it was probably that second spin that brought out the yellow.
Gonna show much mercy there. But Chad Frankenfield remains your leader while all the carnage happens behind him.
What were you saying there, Dave?
Looks like it was his second spin that caused the caution.
Yeah, it's just it's going to be one of those kind of nights, guys. We'll have to see what happens, and I can tell you as a driver, as these laps tick away and you keep getting a caution, and William, you can speak to this too, you start taking more and more chances because you realize, hey, we're not going to get green flag laps. We're not going to get to wear these tires. It's going to be about how aggressive I can be and do my best John Force before the caution comes out. So you're going to get more and more aggressive. You're going to take more and more chances. I think the only saving grace is Chad's already at the front, so he's not going to be coming from behind you somewhere and putting you in a rough spot.
Yeah, definitely. The aggressiveness is only going to get turned up the longer we have these kind of short green flag runs, the more cautions that come out. Obviously, the laps are going to tick by lightning fast no matter whether we're behind the pace car or not, just because of how short Concord Speedway actually is. So, definitely going to be a tricky one for these drivers to try and keep up the aggressiveness while not bringing out more and more cautions. So, definitely a race of attrition, but you have to get up there quickly if you want to profit from it.
Yeah, and you mentioned, aggressiveness and whatnot, and as these guys get more aggressive, more mistakes happen, more contact happens, which really doesn't help the situation that they're in out here right now.
Yeah, it's going to become like a almost vicious cycle. They turn up the aggressiveness, more cautions come out, so they turn up the aggressiveness even more, and it kind of piles on over and over and over again. We're going to come back to the green lap 35, and we'll see just how aggressive these guys are willing to be, because I guarantee you they are nowhere near the maximum aggression that they can be at. Chad Frankenfield will again lead them to the green, probably one of the most aggressive drivers in the field, so he'll be defending that lead hard from the chasing pack. We'll see if anyone can make a move on him as he gets another brilliant restart. Chase Cabry just about gets cleared by Chad Frankenfield, but it's Gerald Campbell taking third place away from Jeff Green. Aggressive Soup. The Soup is aggressive on the restart. He's already up a place.
Yeah, and Gerald, we we talked about him being up there in the points. Michael Hostick around here off of 4.
Oh, big one.
Goodman. Oh, a bunch of cars are going to come over.
Damn green, now a yellow.
Oh, it's Rucker again. Rucker is the trigger.
Took a while for the yellows to actually be deployed there. You see Andrew Hardcastle getting a little bit loose. You see the accident actually happening in front.
Yeah, look at the height that Hossick got up there when he hit that wall.
Yeah, he really hit that wall in an unfortunate spot and at some speed. Big damage and a big impact there for the number 24. Just got tagged in the back there by Michael Goodman. And that is an awful spot to hit that barrier. He gets sent flying. Norgard just squeezes past McCorkle and Freed. Pacuma, all with some slight scrapes and bruises from that one. But all seems to be fairly A-OK for everyone apart from Michael Hossack with some extensive damage to that 24 Toyota.
Yeah, this and here's Rucker. This is what brought the caution out. Something in the stack up here. See it all happen. Checks up. Boom, gets tagged from the 07. Minimal damage. I know Rucker's probably frustrated though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Concrete barrier definitely a little bit harder on that engine and radiator than the safer barrier, but the nose looks to be fairly okay, so I think he's gotten away with one there. Has Andrew Ruck obviously
He found reverse.
Party after being tagged there by Thomas
Look
Coonan
at Barney.
in the 07.
Barney putting in the work right there, just waving the heck out of the yellow like it's his first time.
Definitely. I mean, Barney's definitely been to the gym in preparation for this race because he's going to be waving a lot of flags, so I'm sure he's going to be very buff by the end of this one.
Yeah, by the time this thing's over, he'll be able to take out the whole bloodline all by himself.
Exactly, yeah. Roman Reigns, watch out, that title reign might be done.
As it sits though right now, we are about 39 laps in. Chad Frankenfield, Chase Cabre, Gerald Campbell, Jeff Green, Vincent Isabella, Dylan Javier, Neil Rutt III, Raymond Hanneman, Joe Francis, and Jesse Racimus round out your top 10. And yes, all of our top 10 started in the top 12, so that just goes to show you how important those qualifying laps were. However, Frank Fody started 20th. He's up to 11th. Seth Rawls right there behind him. Leighton Norgard. Now you're getting into guys who have been involved in some accidents, dodged some accidents. We're getting back there to Goody and McCorkle and some of these guys who are trying to recover or minimize the damage as one to go here before the restart.
Yeah, we're seeing some of the guys in kind of 13th and back who may have had some scrapes and bruises from the accidents that have happened beside and in front of them. Maybe haven't been sent flying like the likes of poor Michael Hossack there, but they've survived for what it's worth, and obviously our top 12 all in contention, still having been relatively clean up to this point. But Chad Frankenfield, for the third time tonight, I believe, maybe fourth, he will lead us to the green flag for another restart here at Concord.
Yeah, Green is out. He gets away, gets a great jump there. Once again, they all file into the bottom. Everybody single file through the first 5-6 cars. The first side-by-side battle is the 66 machine. And I am not seeing a 66 machine. So
It's Neil Rutt, 72
Neil
on the
Wright,
ticker.
there it is. That is the
Neil
first
Wright scored as the 72 car, with the 66 on the side. We saw Raymond Hanneman about a lap and a half ago get into the outside wall, though as he does so again. Not ideal there for the 85 machine. Maybe it has a bit of right front damage from that first hit, compromising the performance of that car. It gets a little loose now off of turn 1, definitely fighting that 85 street limit forward just a little bit. Obviously, your Daytona winner finds himself in P8, so a strong performance thus far from Raymond Hanneman, but he's got points leader Jesse Racines behind him. Obviously a very experienced driver in the truck series, and he is no slouch. He will look to pounce at the first opportunity with the chaos that we've had so far tonight.
Yeah, and it looks like coming up out of turn 1, a lot of these guys are really loose coming up out of that hole. You kind of go down into a hole for turn 1 and you drive up out of it. A lot of guys seem to be getting really sideways right there.
Yeah, it's just the way it kind of dips. As you see Jaden Racines eat the wall big time.
Oh, Jeff Green's got a problem.
Right front damage. Problem for Jeff Green.
I'm not sure what happened, but he just went straight like he had a flat tire. It's like he got into the Goodyear tires today from Bristol or something.
Yeah, the right front maybe just didn't want to cooperate as he's lost spots, and there's a caution out, number 6 of the night. I assume that's further back as Andrew Hardcastle. Looks to be an isolated spin there off of turn 1. I have to consult the instant replay on that one. You've got Thomas Coonan just behind him.
Yeah, right there where we've seen everybody else get
moves into 1. Thomas Coonan does a brilliant job at avoiding him. Hardcastle holds the brakes. He noses it into the wall ever so slightly. That'll be your cause of the 6th caution of the night.
We do have some pit stops here. So you talked about how you wouldn't pit. Well, we've got a lot of guys. Vincent Isabella's on pit road. Gerald Campbell's on pit road.
To be fair,
Chase is on pit road. You're looking at him right there.
Yeah, we are seeing some of the leaders coming. Obviously, this will shuffle the pack a little bit, and we'll have some kind of pace differential between certain parts of the pack. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be on fresh tyres, but a lot of people also won't, so it really makes a big split in the field. I would say that we've had longer green flag runs than I had initially anticipated, so I maybe might have been wrong with how fast the tyres would have worn here. We saw a couple of guys nose it into the wall with their right front, so maybe it's kind of just gets a bit tight over the one. There's nothing they can really do to avoid it, and it just becomes a bit undrivable after a while. But I think if I'm Chad Frankenfield, who still remains your race leader, I'm staying out as long as I can and taking that track position advantage as far as I can to try and win this race.
Yeah, I agree. And we got one car backing up. Might be a lapper. Yeah, he's the lapper, the 58 machine there. I didn't know if somebody had a pit penalty or what was going on there. Because we still have 28 cars on the lead lap, so we've only got about 4 trucks a lap down. And those 4 trucks are all still running, so everybody is still racing.
Absolutely, and with the amount of cautions that we reckon there might be, the opportunity to claim a lucky dog is still very much in the pictures. You see a very mangled up 95 truck there. That's Robert Hill Jr. driving for Pro Edge Racing there. Obviously, he's up in 9th. He is your last staying out car. Chase Cabry, your pole sitter, and first onto pit road, sits in P number 10. So that'll be interesting to see. So we see Sam Boutwell doesn't have a nose. We see Jaden Racines has a bit of damage to the right front, so this will definitely make the consequent restarts from now on a little bit more interesting, as we see guys like Chase Cabry look to get those fresh Goodyears back towards the front of the point of the pack very, very quickly.
Yeah, and we are already, even with all these cautions, we're already closing in on halfway here in just the next 7-8 laps. So these guys that pitted right there probably only pitting once. So the guys that stayed out in their bed might be made. They might not be pitting at all. I'm sure they have teammates and are getting a word or some kind of input on, how the tires looked that came off those trucks.
Yeah, I think that's kind of that was your deciding point of your strategy. Where you're going to pit, where you're not going to pit. Chase Cabry very much flying the flag for the pit stoppers, but I think Chad Frankenfield, Jesse Racines, all these guys up at the front need to now commit to this, because if they second guess it in pit later, they're just losing track position. So I think they have to stick to it now. It is going to be lap 54 when we come to the green to end the 6th portion process of the night.
Green is out, and you can see a lot of guys struggling to get going. A lot of these guys who were at the back and have been in wrecks have stayed out here trying to jump this track position. And it's hurting guys like Gerald Campbell, Vincent Isabella.
So an exceptional jump there from Chad Frankfurt. So we are 3 wide there. I think Mark Barnes is on the top there as they exited turn 3. Robert Hill Jr. and Dylan Haver are side by side for P number 10. So Gerald Campbell looks to get involved. Will we be 3 wide going into turn 3? Yes, we will. Gerald Campbell dives in on the bottom. There's a bit of contact. They're still 3 wide. They've kept it clean.
The Robert Hill sandwich.
Turns up the aggression again as Robert Hill Jr. very much the meat in the sandwich, but that move doesn't quite come off for Gerald Campbell. He's now coming under pressure from Vincent Isabella and is outside, and there's a caution out. That's number 7 of the night.
And that really hurt Gerald's chances to try to win this race.
Not tagging who this is on. Anybody? We got an idea?
I don't know who's actually caused this caution. I don't see anyone facing the wrong direction. I don't think producers or race control have tagged anyone. This is a replay of the 3 wide racing between Campbell, Hill, and Javier.
Not up the track, it doesn't look.
It looks like
88.
it is. Yeah,
Race control says Robert Smith, single car spin. I'll have to see if we can catch that.
Oh,
It does look slow there for one.
yeah. What a quick spin right there for him.
Gets in
loose.
very hot.
Yeah, just loose as soon as he went down into the corner.
Yeah. I think he asked a little bit too much of those good years, and it just spun around. See if he kept out the wall. Obviously, the banking very much makes it Concord a bit of a self-cleaning track, much like Dover. And just backs her up into the concrete. Looks alright though. So hopefully the ace here will continue on.
Is that his second tally?
Yeah, I think he's parked.
I believe that will be his second tally, which will result in him being parked, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that second tally, that'll get you.
Unfortunate for the 88 machine.
He could appeal it.
Seems to be doing
He's
pretty
never going to
well.
win it, but he could appeal it.
Yeah, I think both of them were pretty self-spun there, so be hard to win that appeal.
Hey, you know as well as I do, all it takes is like 3 people to vote for you.
Hey, that is very true. That is very true. It's going to be hard though. You have to do some real selling. You know, maybe money changing hands. I mean, I'll vote for anything if a little bit of money changes hands.
We're now already at the halfway point. This has flown by. I think it's barely been half an hour. So I think if, get some green flag laps going on, I might go to bed at a reasonable time tonight. Only 1 a.m. over here in England, and we're on halfway point. Looking good. Chad Frankenfield still your leader?
Yeah, Chad out front. Jesse's hanging on the second. Joe Francis. We've seen Rucker in a couple different incidents. Here he is in the top 5. We've seen Dusty get involved in some incidents. There he is sitting in 5th. Jaden. Then we get into Chase and Jeff Green, and then we got Sam Boatwell. Or Boutwell. Listen, I am just struggling with everything tonight. I am getting tongue-tied.
Tongue-tied? You can't even say tongue-tied.
Tongue-tied. I'm getting tongue-tied.
We'll figure it out. All I know is we're about halfway through this race, and Chad Frankenfield is out front. Coming to get the green once again on the loud pedal in a hurry. Gets a great jump.
Dustin Dewar spun the tyres there. That held up the inside line a little bit there. Chase Cabry very much a victim of that.
Yeah, now Chase is trapped. I talked about Gerald not having a shot, and Gerald's going around Chase on the outside right now.
Yeah, they're 3 wide again. Oh, Joe Francis is in the wall. Up at the front. That's caution number 8. Big impact there for the 35 car. He was running supremely well there. I think he was up in 4th before that incident. We'll have to see what happened there on the replay. He's fighting for second here with Jesse Racines. Just overshoots the corner a touch. Doors Racines and very much is a kind of constructor of his own demise there. Noses it into the wall there. Hefty whack there for the 35.
We are very lucky that was not 15 or 20.
Oh yeah, that could have been a big one. So props to Joe Francis for holding the brakes, minimizing how much he bounced back up the track. Obviously, good job to everyone else for avoiding him as well and not getting too freaked out by seeing a big old silver truck parked on the apex of turn 3.
And he paints his own trucks. Great looking scheme there. You can see it's all hand drawn there on the 35. Hand painted. He doesn't have wraps.
Absolutely, I think the 35 truck wouldn't look out of place in the Louvre. I think it's a brilliant little scheme he's got going there. Very much an eye-catching one. Definitely going to be a classic in years to come, I think, in Ali as he comes back out of the pit lane now.
Yeah, not very many guys can draw their own schemes like that.
I think it looks brilliant.
Sometimes it looks like it's an invisible car. You can like see through it. It looks like it has that illusion like you're looking right through it.
Yeah, it's silver, but looks like you're just looking at asphalt, doesn't it?
As you can see, he does pick up the tally.
Yeah, that'll be Joe Francis' first of the night.
No real damage. No, nothing that's going to hold him down here. You know, not everybody's going to pit again, so it's going to be hard to get this track position back.
Yeah, that's going to be his main kind of handicap from now on. Obviously, he's down to 28th from 3rd as he was running before that incident, so definitely a big hit for Joe Francis' potential podium prospects. But he's not down and out. We could have a 27 car pile up in front of him, and he's doing his second victory burnouts of the season, so it's not all said and done here in Concord.
Yeah, and I think this is my last truck broadcast of the year. This will be my second and final one, I believe. But I'm sure there's a dirt race in the truck series, right? We've had one every year, and Joe's a guy on dirt that if we get to a dirt race,
2 weeks.
Joe will be able to win the thing.
2 weeks at Slinger.
There it is.
Eldora will be our dirt race. Obviously, Slinger, another new appearance. The world's fastest quarter mile, so lap times will be even faster there than they are here. Eldora definitely an interesting one to have as your penultimate race before the playoffs. And we're going to go green for the first time this race. Chad Frankenfield elects for the outside on the restart. Very interesting.
Yeah, I think he's picking that lane because of... I don't know why he would pick that lane. I was going to say because Chase is on the other lane, but I feel like Chase isn't far enough up there for him to be concerned just yet.
I would definitely agree. I think there's just sheer momentum that you get from the steeper banking on the outside of the track, I think, is what...
Oh, contact midfield, 3 wide.
3 wide, back of the pack. I think that's Norgard at the bottom there.
I think that
Still
aggression
3
level...
wide. These guys taking everything they can get. Leighton Norgard, Sam Boutwell, and Michael Goodman 3 wide into turn 3. They're keeping it clean though for the time being. Leighton Norgard's going to take the power of turns in. Big one. That one popped into the wall. Norgard's in it. Hardcastle's in it. Carl Hanshaw's around at the back of the pack. Seth Rawls involved.
You know, I was just about to say I do not want to be where Goodman is on the top of 3 wide, but especially at a short track like this.
See what happened there on the Rabanus replay. Boutwell dove it in deep there.
Oh, I think he thought he was clear up. He wasn't quite clear just yet.
Norgard maybe fought a little bit of understeer there and came up on the 47 there. Big impact there for Sam.
And the worst part for Sam, he had no front end on the car to save him. But that was just full brace hit there.
Oh yeah, big impact there. Might be a meatball for the 47 car. As we see some more scrapes and bruises for some other of our gladiators. As you see Seth Rawls facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, Sam's already missing his nose at this point from the other wreck that he was in. So this does not help his case at all. But yeah, just looks like he might have thought he was clear up, maybe clear up a lane.
He is going to get the tally, does Leighton Norgard. I think maybe expected Sam Boutwell to be just a little bit higher up there, or maybe just fought some understeer.
Here we see the 10 backing in.
Out.
These guys out here tonight are getting their money's worth.
Yeah, absolutely. Although the team owners probably having a bit of a meltdown seeing the amount of money they're about to spend on some wrecked race trucks.
Oh, something's going on with Kyle. He just stops. Oh, is he done?
I think he might be. See if he does.
Nope.
Oh, gets back going again. Maybe his seatbelt came undone.
Change the radio station.
Or he could have been just getting back in line. Looks like he let the 10 go. Maybe he got trapped there with where the yellow came out.
Yeah, maybe. It's just see you later, Norgard now. Coming out. Doesn't seem to be too much damage left on the 12 truck. See on the scoring count if he remains on the lead lap. He does. P25 there for later Norgard.
Yeah, and tonight, Josh Adams, it looks like, is our admin of the night. He's giving out all these penalties and all these things. So, busy night up there in the tower for Josh tonight.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's caution number 9. Big pardon. I'm already losing count and we're barely halfway through. Yeah, Josh Adams definitely has a big job in his hands tonight. Classic short track race here at Concord. I don't know what Ethan Burrell's there doing at the bottom of the scoring tower then if he's not race control. I don't know.
He showed up and he ran a couple practice laps and then he said he didn't think he was going to stick around.
Oh, there you go then.
Didn't think he had it was to his liking.
Yeah, definitely not. Obviously, a past Truck Series champion, so he's not competing for any points.
I'm not going to call him a chicken, but Gerald would.
Race car. Yeah.
Well, Chad's back on the bottom. He didn't like that top. Getting ready to go green once again. Green is out. Great jump there for Paddock.
Whoa, Rucker just about holds on to it. Got really wiggly on the restart there. Trying to step on the loud pedal. He's going to lose a spot to Jeff Green. He's got Joe Campbell now on his inside. Chad Frankenfield again, though. Holding firm on the restart. Chase Cabry. Maybe not quite slicing through the field as fast as he might like.
Yeah, it's just not been a lot of green flag laps here. So the tires, I would imagine the tires look pretty good that came off of these trucks. As you see everybody trying to get through some of this traffic.
Getting feisty though. Chase Cabry looking to the inside of Andrew Rucker is going to send it into turn 1. Looking for P6. I don't think Rucker's going to be able to quite put up much of a fight. As Cabry clears Rucker off with turn 2, he's up to P6.
Yeah, we see Jeff
Green.
Spinning.
Jaden Racimus is around.
Oh,
Collects Hill and Hanneman.
And Marcus spun over here on the other side of the racetrack.
It's a car park off turn 3. They all managed to avoid it.
They wrecked somewhere else. I don't know what's going on out here. This is P3 running all by himself.
Yeah, super unfortunate for Jaden Racimus. Was running super well. Just going way too hard into turn 3. The tyres couldn't give him the purchase that he was looking for. And he just spins it, tries to save it. Campbell, Green, Cabry, Rutt, Isabella all squeezed past. Hanneman and Hill not as fortunate that time around.
And something happened to Mark while this was going on too. I don't know what happened to Mark Rebelos, but
check it out here in a second.
As we ride on board with Robert Hill, you'll see the wreck here. The car spinning. Everybody checking up. Robert maybe not checking up quite as much. Maybe Robert's got some brake problems after that first wreck.
That's an ARCA brake. Oh, look how hard he's turning that wheel. He's 90 degrees to the left. His truck is junk.
He had about a second to see that car. I mean, you could see it's up there a little bit.
The brake's the one in the middle, Robert. Jeez. What's that all about?
Yeah, I feel like when you start closing that gap on everybody real quick, you might be time to lift off the gas. But yeah, look at that.
His truck is definitely ready for the scrapyard. As the tally goes to the number 1 car of Jaden Racimus. That's his first of the night. Is Mark Rabalis drops off turn 2. Just tags a later Norgard.
So all that happened at the same time. So that was the caution lap for sure.
Yeah. I don't think anyone was really a fan of that lap. They just wanted to kind of spin out and have their own fun.
Yeah, I wonder how surprising it was when you spin out, the caution comes out, you're assuming that you come off of turn 3 and their car's wrecked on the front stretch.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I thought I was the caution. What happened?
Yeah. That's a pleasant surprise for Mark Rebelos because it means he goes tally-free for a little bit longer in this race. Hopefully he goes tally-free until...
If they were to give him a tally, I'd be telling Josh, listen, I checked up because the caution was coming out, man. I had somebody in my ear saying somebody was wrecking. As soon as I lifted, it just spun out.
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, he just sensed the wreck was coming, so I sort of spin out earlier, so I'm going nice and slow through the wreckage. It's, telepathic ability.
Well, Gerald Campbell up to 3rd, first car on tires. Jeff Green in 4th. And Chase has got to see that. When we're inside of 40 to go, it's... it's going to be hard to make all these passes, especially with guys in front of you that are on the same tires that you are. Vince is right behind him. We know Vince is going to be aggressive.
Yeah,
Fix the
Campbell,
job.
Isabella, Gabriel, big beneficiaries of the unfortunate incident with Jane and Racimus Frankenfield. Alex to the outside once again. It's a decent restart. Jeff Green's going to be to the outside of Jesse, Racimus. Campbell to the inside of Green. That's your fight for third. That's your nearest side-by-side battle. We'll see if Campbell tries to turn the wick up a little bit and get past Jesse Racimus in the next couple of laps as Racimus clears Green. Cabri licking his lips a little bit in fifth, seeing all this battling happening in front of him, seeing if he can capitalize. I think Campbell's going to take third place from Jeff Green in a couple of laps here as they kind of single file out around.
Oh, caution's out. Oh, it's Joshua Freed.
Pretty big damage there. Oh, someone's bumper fell off. It wasn't Josh Reed, but he did spin up into the outside wall there.
Well, it looks like they're trying a two-car tandem here around Concord. Just a little bit right there. Head down for turn 3. Way high. Going to get way loose. We've seen this a lot tonight.
Asking too much of those tyres. Collect the innocent Frank Foti. Two-car incident there brings out caution number 11 of the night as the tally does go to Joshua Freed from Race Control.
Yeah, and I think we're going to take this opportunity to get one more commercial break in, so stick with us. We'll be back after the break to take you all the way to the checkered flag.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And welcome back to Concord Speedway here on the Elite Racing Network. Checking out the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Elite Truck Series. Got the Concord 120 tonight, as Chad Frankenfield currently leads here as we have 30 laps to go. He is going to elect to take the top. He's going to put Jesse on the bottom, Gerald on the bottom, Jeff Green back up on the top. A lot of these guys have chose not to pit. Some of them have chose to pit. We got to watch that. Keep an eye on Gerald Campbell, Jeff Green, Vincent Isabella, Chase Cabre. All these guys have newer tires than Chad and Jesse out front, but so far have yet to be able to pass them.
Yeah, for the fourth time tonight, Chad Frankenfield does elect to take the outside. We'll see how much that helps him this time around. Obviously, that gives less of an advantage to Campbell and Cabre, who are on fresh tyres. As we see, Jesse Racimus manages to stick in second place, while it's a good restart for Chad Frankenfield. As Campbell gets a little wiggly off of turn number 1, he will not take third place. He might drop down to 5th. Here comes Cabre, though. They're 3 wide into turn 3 momentarily. But no dice there for Chase Cabre this time round. And it's going to be Vincent Isabella who benefits a little bit. He's up to 4th now. Campbell and Cabre both down a spot as they're now fighting for 5th.
Nearly contact. You saw Chase there have to drive across the apron a little bit.
Oh,
we got a
loose
spinner
there from Isabella.
Andrew Hardcastle. Caution is out.
That might be Andrew's second tally of the night.
William, what do you think happened here going into 3?
I would bet about 500 quid that it's actually maybe not. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because these two have hit each other last time out at Sebring. No, our castle's
Should've made
gonna
that bet.
drop it. No, I'm making that bet now. 500. Yeah, we've seen it a million times tonight. Big impact there into the outside wall. Just asked too much of those tires going into the corner. The banking unsettles the truck, and around she goes. Caution number 12.
Yeah, that bet would have been a good bet to make.
Yeah, I should have stuck by my guns there. I'd be a rich man. Oh well.
Hey,
There's
if I
always
learned
caution
anything,
number 13.
don't be afraid to be wrong. And when you're wrong, don't admit that you're wrong.
That's a great life advice. I'll take that on board. Thank you.
I want to give a shout out here real quick to all of our sponsors. Of course, the Stay Tuned Sports podcast. Stay Tuned Sports was started in 2016 by two friends. Even through hating each other's teams with the Look at this, man, boys. I am struggling so bad tonight. I tell you what. With the purpose of producing a sports talk show like no other, they wanted to create a show that would cover all major sports with a little bit of comedy mixed in. Stay Tuned Sports releases weekly episodes covering NFL, NHL, MLB, and even some college football. So if you're looking for some hot takes mixed in with some good ball busting, then this is the show for you. Stay Tuned Sports, your home for the sports nonsense. Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small business owners. Blue Egg is your biggest fans. They help businesses punch above their weight class. And of course, Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri, and it features a 1.25 mile NASCAR Cup Series, Truck Series, and Open Wheel Series racetrack. Also has a 2-mile infield road course used by Trans Am, SCCA, and the Porsche Club of America, and a 1/4 mile drag strip that hosts the NHRA Midwest Nationals event. And of course, the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. I want to give a shout out to Chad Frankenfield as well for all he does for the league. And of course, here at ERN, none of this happens and runs so smooth without Dave Huckleberry and of course William White joining me up here tonight. Thank you for joining me, William. And Dave, thanks for all that you do.
It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
That was scary, Chris. When you see a word that has a U as the second word, don't make the first word letter an F, and you're really in trouble.
Yeah. It's I'm struggling up here tonight.
I heard the pho, and I'm like, oh.
This is a PG-13 show.
Not
No
all.
swears these words.
They don't ask you to do that above your weight class. Punch above your weight.
Well, once again, Chad has picked the top here as we approach 20 to go right here. We will see how he holds up here on the top side. He's going to have Vincent Isabella on new tires right behind him. I don't think Vince will be afraid to use that bumper. Green is out. Chad does a Houdini pick back up on the bottom. I think Gerald missed a shift.
Field out a little bit. Gerald might have missed a shift. There was a bit of a gap there. He's down to 8th, 9th as he's fighting with Dylan Javier there. Chase Cabry, a big beneficiary from that as Racimus and Isabella will fight for second place. All the while, Chad Frankenfield still your leader as he has been now for so long after taking the lead from Chase Cabry about 100 laps ago, a little bit earlier.
Yeah, but
he's looking to
he
get.
cannot be a fan of Vince being able to get through the second right. Well, Vince is in the wall.
Vince is in the wall, and she said that's going to halt his progress a little bit. But he hangs on to PT for now.
And caution is out once again. David Carpenter is backwards, getting it righted right now.
I think number 13 was a little bit unlucky there for David Carpenter. He is your victim of the 13th caution of the night, and I want to say it might be another self-spin off of turn 1.
Here we go. Coming up out of that hole, gets loose. And there he goes.
It's a fairly hefty whack there for David in that 71 do-good car, but I would say he's alright. He's not out for the count just yet as he brings it down into pit lane for some services from his wonderful pit crew. But Chad Frankenfield taking advantage of the carnage. He is still your race leader.
Dave's got to be pretty frustrated, though, over there. You know, he was running 11th and giving that thing a good ride tonight, played his strategy right, and And now, he's lost all that track position that he fought to get. And you might say 11th isn't very far forward, but here tonight, you're probably not going to drive back through this field and get back to 11th.
Absolutely. I mean, he was running incredibly well. It was solid. He survived. I don't think he was really part of any of the wrecks before that. So really unfortunate to have him be taken out by a self spin. Well, not taken out. He's still in it, but his progress has definitely been halted for the time being. But we are seeing some old names back up at the front. Raymond Hanneman's up to 6th after being involved in some crashes.
Do you see who's up to 7th?
I see Joe Francis, who had a hefty whack earlier on in the race. He's back up to 7th. He survived all the rest of the carnage, and he's back.
Yeah, somehow he has managed to take his new tires and drive kind of through the field. That's the freshest tires on the racetrack, I believe.
Yes, they are.
So he is...
Leighton Norgard has 72, but he's about 4 spots back.
What an incredible feat it would be for... I mean, it's incredible that Joe's gotten back up this high here with just 15 to go. And I don't know if it's lucky, good, or a mix of both.
I think you have to be good to be lucky. You have to be lucky to be good as well. I think no matter what you do, if you want to drive through the field, you do need a bit of luck. He's got through all the cautions. Obviously, he's done well to avoid them. And he's capitalised on it. He's up to 7th with the freshest tyres in the field. Could he take win number 2 of the season? Obviously, he bossed it at Indianapolis, taking advantage of yet another pretty crazy race. So maybe the carnage suits Joe Francis, and he might take another checkered flag tonight.
Oh, that's right. Indy, the race that I did in that fuel mileage and everything, right? Isn't that what that race was?
Yeah, we saw Tyler Votey pull into the pits with just a handful of laps to go to relinquish the lead to Joe Francis.
I think if Joe wins this race, he's going to start trying to pay me to show up here on Sunday nights.
I think so, maybe. Anything to have a shot at a title at season's end, but right now it's Frankfurt and Isabella, your front row sitters, as Frankfurt gets off to a brilliant start there. Isabella will hang on to second place. Racines and KB will fight for the final podium spot. 13 laps to go. The time is ticking for these guys to get up to Chad.
Oh, we got a spinner. It's Dustin Dewar. It's all falling apart for Do-Good here in the final laps, boys.
Yeah, Do-Good co-owner Dustin Dewar might have just had one of those notorious self-spins unless he's had any help from behind him. He did. Seth Rawls gets into the back of the 32 car. Turns him around.
Yeah, I don't think Dusty's going to like that too well.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be too happy with that one. I'm sure it wasn't intentional from Seth as Dewar brings it down pit road, possibly for some fresh rubber. He's far enough back in the field, I think he just wants to see if he can blitz through the field late on.
So, our race picks, they're going to need some things to fall their way. I think you pick Chase, I pick Jeff, as the 10 car does get the tally there.
I was very much assuming that this was going to be a no-stopper for kind of all the field there, which is why I picked Chase Gabriel. And he's still in 3rd, and he still can win this thing. He certainly has the pace to get up there to Chad. I think he just needs some green flag laps and some track position to come his way. But otherwise, I think this is Chad's race to lose.
Yeah, and Chase is still pretty new to Elite. He knows Chad's the owner. Chase might not be willing to get too physical with Chad like some would back there. I feel like if Gerald was lining up behind Chad, Gerald would be okay getting a little bit physical.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I think you have to be on these short tracks. There is definitely a bigger element of physicality there. So we see Vincent Isabella practicing for his next magic show.
He's gone.
He's gone. Oh, no.
He's dropping through the field.
That might be what Chase needs.
He's out the top 20. You see on the scoring tower, he's going down and down and down. He's now a lap down. Wow.
Oh, he's trying to come back. I don't know how iRacing's going to score this when he gets back.
Oh, scoring tower on the left says he's a lap down, but he's kind of poking in and out. If he disconnects, that's going to be hugely unfortunate for Vincent, though. He's ran super well. He's back, but he's a lap down.
No, he's not. He is. Yes, no, he is. Yes, no.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he is lapped. He was going enough to where iRacing registered he lost a lap, so he is a non-factor up here.
Pace car pulls off, but I think they're trying to keep the caution out.
Yeah, I think they're going to pull him to the back.
Very interesting to see how Race Control handles this.
But you got to send him to the back. He's a lap truck now.
Yeah. So they're going to keep them at pace speed for the moment. Isabella's waved around to the back of the pack. He is now scored at 26th and last on the lead. That massively unfortunate for Vincent there.
It moves Jesse up there on the outside row. The whole row moved up instead of Chase getting to restart side by side there. Green is out. Chad left way early.
Chase is on the inside of Jesse though. That might be all that Chase needs. I think he has to turn up the aggression. Gerald tries to look, doesn't get there. Chase Cabry's up to second now. He has to step on it to get to Chad.
Come back down the front stretch. They see 10 to go. Or excuse me, 5 to go. Sorry. 5 to go. I was trying to give these boys 5 extra laps. He's closing in on the back bumper of Chad. They're 3 wide in the back of the pack, nearly wrecking, but everybody keeps it straight.
Chase Cabry gets some brilliant runs off the corner there. We see him closing up by the best part of a tenth of a second off the corner. The gap just a couple of tenths. He's really sending it. He needs to if he wants to get to the back of Chad. The gap closing all the time, 10th and a half of a second. Chad's got a fight on his hands if he wants to keep this race win. This Cabry's all over the back of him. Does he send it into turn 3?
I tell you, how defensive can Chad get right here? If they run green to the end, it'll be the longest run of the night. Oh, Chad's going to get pretty defensive.
He has to.
Just 2 left. They work down the backside of the track. Chad's just driving the heck out of it.
They make it to the white flag.
In the air. Oh, he's going to get... Is he underneath Chad?
He is. Almost. Chad just hangs it.
They're going to head down to turn 3 one last time. They come off of turn 4. It's Chad.
Oh, Chad by an inch. Frankenfield by an inch beats Chase Cabry to the line.
we got big junk here on the front stretch.
We don't show that stuff.
Chad Frankenfield's going to be your winner from Concord by probably just a couple hundredths of a second, if that.
Something happened to the 12 car on this final lap. He was racing for a spot up around the top 10.
More bad luck for Leighton Norgard, it seems.
Oops. I had it.
Oh man, that's got to be frustrating for Norgard, but it doesn't appear to be his fault. He got a little bit loose. Accident. This is all for a spot right about 10.
That might be a second tally, which means he would be... Oh! Everyone just piles in.
Yeah, he changed a lot of races.
He spun off of the side of Seth Rawls, and that caused a massive pile-up coming to the checkered flag.
Yeah, and Seth finished 13th, so that was his battle for 13th, and yeah, Leighton scored 26, so that's 13 points there for guys trying to battle to get into the playoffs, and every point matters. That's it's got to be frustrating because he fought back. He had a very up and down night. Fought back from in the back of the field. Probably wasn't happy with his qualifying run. Was in a couple of wrecks and was going to manage a top 15. And a lot of points to throw away in the last corner.
Yeah, he had to give it everything though. As we see your your race results for the Concord 120. Chad Frankenville was your winner by just 6 100ths of a second over current rookie points leader Chase Cabry.
Yeah, and then we got Jesse Racimus, Gerald Campbell, Jeff Green round out the top 5. So our picks did pretty good tonight, 2nd and 5th, right? We could have done better. We could have done, a little bit worse as well. So Joe Francis comes back to 6th, starts 6th, finished 6th. Nothing crazy happened to Joe tonight, right?
No, walk in the park for Joe. Clean truck, I'm sure he's going to wake up feeling great tomorrow morning.
And then behind Joe, we got Raymond. Andrew Rucker comes back to 8th after we saw him in some incidents. We got Caleb there in 9th. Dylan rounds out the top 10. Got Neil Rutt, Michael Hosick, Seth back there, Cody McCorkle. Frank Fody's going to finish in the top 15 after we saw him get caught up in a few wrecks. We saw Dusty wreck late. He's going to come home 16th. Mark's going to come home 17th. Jaden's going to come home there in 18th. Vince, we saw Vince up there on that last restart, had those issues, those connection issues. Like you said, he was practicing for his magic show. Well, he's going to end up 19th for all his trouble there. Kyle Hanshaw's going to come home 20th. We got Robert Hill, our favorite Canadian, as you said. Those were your words, not mine. And then we got Goody Carpenter, Brandon Hitton, Michael Javier, and a Leighton Norgard round out the top 26, and those were our lead lap finishers.
Yeah, I would say Robert Hill's our favorite Canadian, but I'm biased. I love all our drivers. Well,
I mean, listen, I got love with you. He's probably my favorite Canadian. No, he's not my favorite Canadian.
Who's your favorite Canadian?
Twain. All right, I'll give him 3. I'll give him 3rd. My favorite Canadian that I know, but I won't tell him that. We can't let Robert get too big of a head up there. But I believe, William, you're standing by with our 3rd place finisher at this point.
I certainly am. We've got Jesse Racimas up in the booth. You got a copy, my friend?
Yeah, I got you.
It wasn't a particularly quiet night for most of the field. How do you analyze that race from your perspective? And also, we saw your son Jaden ran into a bit of trouble. So how was that race for the pair of you?
Yeah, he from talking to him, he a little bit too much rear brake going into turn 3, and he just ended up looping it on his own. But I mean, the race pace in general wasn't the greatest. So I mean, once I seen that it was just caution after caution, I was like, yeah, we made a strategy call and just decided to stay out and see where we ended up. Concord's not my strong track, never was. Even trying to do license progression up through the ranks, Concord was always one of my weakest tracks. So I'm just happy to stay in front of all these guys and just finish 3rd.
Yeah, it was definitely a solid finish. Obviously, you were the points leader coming in. I imagine you will retain that points lead now as we cross the halfway point of the regular season. What's your outlook for these final 5 races of the regular season before we head into the playoffs?
Just kind of doing the same thing I'm doing. Trying to keep the truck clean and one piece, and hopefully in top 10 or better.
Awesome. Are there any shout outs you want to give, sponsors you want to thank before we let you go here?
I mean, just everyone here at Elite. Chad puts on a great group, a great league, and we have a great group. There's a couple oddballs here and there, but overall, I mean, the racing here is kind of the reason why I stay. Everyone here is top notch, and I mean the broadcast crew, Dave, Chris, William, and Robert. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple of people, but everybody at Elite Racing Network, I mean, it's always a blast to go back and watch these broadcasts, and they're top notch.
Oswald, appreciate the kind words. Chris, you got any questions for our 3rd place finisher before we let him go?
No, just congrats, Jesse, on a great run tonight. Great points battle, and I look forward to watching how it goes from here.
All right, thanks, guys. Hopefully we keep this going.
All right, I believe I've caught up with Chase. Is it Cabre or Cabre there, Chase? How do you pronounce it?
It's a Cabry.
Chase Cabre, Haley Deegan's significant other. Chase, take us through your night. How you managed to get your way back to the front there, and we saw you pit for tires. Obviously, Chad didn't pit for tires. Was there any real difference? Do you think? Obviously, another lap or 2, you might have got him.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a tough to come back through. If the race had a little bit more green flag runs, I think the tires show up. But when you're only making 5 laps max at a time, the tires really don't show up because they have time to cool back down. And then at the end, I think was one of our longest green flag runs, I felt like, and it was only like 6 laps. But you could start to see it start to play a role there on entry into 3 because the setup just had so much lack of grip and how hot the track was. So, yeah, Chad ran a great race. In the beginning, I was trying to save tire, thinking it was going to be super important. And then I decided I was going to pit, and I think I just played my cards wrong. But Chad ran a great race up front, led all but, I would say, 10 laps of the race. So hats off to him. Like I said, I just wish we had more green flag runs just to actually be able to race it out. It just seemed like to me it was whatever lane you were in the restart, and if if one guy got loose in that lane, it stacks the whole lane. You lose 3 spots, and So, I'd make my way to fifth and then lose back to eighth and then get up four and then lose again. So, just had to be in the right places on the restart. It's a shame what happened to Vincent. I felt like it was going to be a good three-way battle, but come up one spot short tonight.
Yeah, and take me through some of the issues people were struggling with. It looked like a lot of guys struggled down, especially down in the middle of turn one, trying to drive up out of that corner. What was the setup like? Was it bottoming out really hard over there?
It just out of turn one, it has this like little hill to it, and you're already naturally really free with the way the setup was. So you'd hit the hill, and then you'd get really free. So you just had to be set up nice to be able to come off that corner, and then down the back straightaway. You're no more than 50% throttle the whole way down the back, just trying to keep the rear tires underneath you. So it was definitely tough, but you had to be. It felt like it was more of a driver setup, so I enjoyed it. And hopefully next week we can do it again.
All right, Chase, who helps get it done for you and get you to the racetrack here week in, week out?
Just all you guys for putting on the shows. I know it's not always the most fun calling a caution-filled race, but I hope we made it interesting at the end for you guys. And Chad, he puts on the races, and it's been a lot of fun.
All right, Chase, congrats on the run. William, you got anything for Chase before we let him jump out of here?
No, it was a brilliant run from Chase. Obviously, congrats on the P2. We'd like to ask actually, obviously, we are past the halfway point now. You're pretty high up in the points, leading the rookie standings as well. But what's your outlook now for the rest of the regular season and seeing if you can make the playoffs? What's the aim?
I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. I don't know exactly where I stand in the points. Last week I didn't run. I went to go run the NIS race just because I'm not the greatest road course racers and it's not really all that enjoyable to me. So skipped out last week, but I think we're still decent in points and we'll see. I'm not exactly sure when the playoff starts, but plan on trying to go win a championship.
Awesome, sounds good, man. Well, congratulations on the P2 again.
Appreciate it.
All right, William, I think you're standing by with race winner Chad Frankenfield right now.
Certainly am. Chad Frankenfield, race winner. You got a copy, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, it's kind of a manic one for everyone behind you, pretty much except yourself. You seemed kind of on a lonely little island of not getting caught up in any incidents up in P number one there for the vast majority of the race. How do you analyze that race from your perspective?
I mean, it was a tricky track. Typically it took about 2 laps for the tires to kind of fire off. They'd cool off, and the track was also hotter than anticipated with the new, weather stuff that's been going on iRacing. So it's kind of hard to get ahead of the track there. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's kind of what it is. On the short track stuff, especially in the lower series like this, where we have some guys that are still learning how to handle iRacing and things like that. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I wish we would have gotten more green because I think it would have been a fun race. But obviously, I'll take it.
Fair enough. Obviously, there was obviously you're not running for points in this, having won some championships in the past. So what was kind of your outlook coming into the race? Was the main objective just to have fun? Was it to try and sneak a win from one of our championship contenders?
I mean, really, I run the trucks because I think the truck is one of the more fun cars to run on here. So I really like to do that just because it's just a fun series. We typically run tracks that we wouldn't run in our other series. Also, I don't get to run a lot on iRacing, as much as I'd like in terms of practice and stuff like that. So, anytime I can do something that gets me, in a position to learn for another series, I try to do that. So like the short track stuff is something I definitely need to work on. So I definitely try to run more truck stuff on the short tracks. But yeah, I mean that's really why it's just fun to run with the guys, and I think it's also somewhat realistic to real life. I mean, there's a lot of guys in this series that are trying to work their way up through the elite ladder, and I think it's good for them to run with some of our past champions. So I really like when Fody and Ethan and and all these guys. Tate comes and runs with these guys. I think it just makes them all better. So yeah, I mean, I just enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
I definitely agree. Obviously, you only won the race by 66 milliseconds. Obviously, you and Chase were on different strategies. Was that the crucial element that got you that win today by such fine margins? Was there something different that got you the edge over the chasing pack tonight?
It really, I mean, when he pitted, I wasn't expecting anybody to pit when they did. So when he pit, my only hope was to just hope that there was enough cars that stayed out that would create a buffer. And it really took until like the last 10 laps of the race for my tires to actually finally start to wear. I think I ran my fastest lap of the race like lap 80. So once I got to the restart and I ran a lap or two, I'm like, okay, my tires are starting to go, and he's got a lot fresher tires, so that's where I was getting a little worried. Um, but for me, I mean, in a series where I'm just here to win, I'd rather have to get moved and you know and run a defensive line in terms of allowing a guy to get the bottom. So if he was going to beat me, it was either going to be with the bumper or he was going to have to come around the outside there. And you know, he ran me really clean, so kudos to him. But he almost pulled it off of 3. I couldn't believe he got the grip like he did because there's not a lot of grip once you get off the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Any sponsors or shout outs you want to give before we let you go here? Before I pass you over to Chris?
Yeah, just want to give a shout out to Kicking the Tires and to my team, Little Eagle Racing. It's always good to win for those guys, and I just want to thank everybody at ERN for it's been a fun season so far. The community, the ERN community is growing, our elite community is growing. So I just appreciate all you guys that are. I know tonight probably wasn't the most easiest one to cover, but I just appreciate everything that you guys do.
Sounds awesome, man. Well, Chris, you got any questions for our race winner tonight, or should we let him go party with his team?
Well, before you get out of here, Chad, I just want to ask you what it means to you to finally finish the deal, because obviously I do a little bit with the IndyCar series there on Thursdays and the Xfinity series on Mondays. What does it mean to you to finally close the deal? Because you've been fast in a lot of different races this season, but it's always a struggle to get, to get to the end. Like the last 2 or 3 IndyCar races, you've led the most laps, and you think this can translate to that there in a couple weeks when you guys get back on, and even to tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean it's nice to be able to finish one out. Like you said, IndyCar. I mean, there's probably 3 races I could have won in IndyCar, and I had things out of my control. And this, Xfinity Series, Pocono, I had a good shot to win, and I just didn't get a yellow when I needed it, and I just wore the tire out just enough. The Cup stuff, Brickyard, I was running pretty well. It's just so hard to win in Elite. So it's anytime you win, it's a good thing. And obviously, when you go long enough without a win, you kind of question like, okay, when is it actually going to happen? So it's nice for it to finally come for the year, and hopefully it translates to our other stuff. Um, but we'll see. I mean, like I said, it's really tough across the board. So anytime you can win in any of the series, whether it's ARCA, Trucks, Indy Cup, IndyCar, it's always a big deal.
So would you be okay giving away all these other trophies in the IndyCar series if you can take home the 500 here next month?
If I could win our Indy 500, I'd probably trade in my Cup championship potentially. Just because it's just so much that goes into that one race. I mean, we'll probably turn hundreds of laps of practicing and tuning and doing what we need to do and figuring out all kinds of scenarios. Um, it's a really tough race too, so it's more than just the race. It's qualifying, it's preparation, it's getting off pit road, getting in. It's just a lot to go into it. So I would probably trade a lot for a 500 win. So, but we got a lot of work to do before we get there, especially on the NASCAR side. We got a lot of big races coming up. So, the 600s in a couple weeks. That's always a fun one. So.
Well, all right, Chad, we will let you jump out of here and celebrate your win. Congrats on finishing the job tonight, and we look forward to racing with you, this week and watching tomorrow. Try to go for 2 in a row.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, boys, I think that's going to wrap it up here from Concord. We saw a race tonight. It had a lot of cautions, a lot of carnage. We saw some different strategies play out. And in the end, we got to see the longest green flag run of the night there right at the end and seen a great battle for the win. So any final thoughts from you, William, or you, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, it was carnage as we expected. Maybe not as much as we expected. Only 14 cautions, I believe, if I count correctly. And we've got a barn burner of a finish, just a couple hundredths between first and second. Brilliant fights all around the field, and definitely some drama in terms of the points. And we saw some big crashes, which are always welcome, albeit maybe not for the people involved in them. But they're fun to watch from up in the booth. It's a lot of fun to commentate on. I'm sure Chris, you had a lot of fun tonight as well.
Yeah, I did. And Dave, you have any final thoughts here tonight?
No, just looking forward to this stretch of truck races. This is really between Concord, Vegas, Slinger, Virginia, and Eldora, and then Talladega. That's just like the murderer's row of schedule. So it'll be wild to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, I can't wait to tune in. But as for us here tonight, everybody at Stay Tuned Sports, the Elite Racing Network, Elite themselves, Chad, Dave, all they do to keep us all in line. Blue Egg Marketing, Worldwide Technology Raceway. That's going to do it tonight from Concord for the Stay Tuned Sports podcast truck series. Tune in next week, same time, and I believe you'll have your normal broadcast crew back for that. So, and if you're looking for Xfinity racing, Cup racing, that'll be tomorrow night and Wednesday night. No IndyCar series racing for a couple weeks. They're all got some off time here. I believe 2 weeks off, and then we'll race again there in that IndyCar series. So stick around Elite Racing Network, and we'll have all your iRacing needs here moving forward.